Welcome to 843 TV. I'm your host, Lisa Richardson, and today I am joined by Bennett Schiller, and we have a very important show to tell you about today.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the Camp LeJeune Justice Act of 2022.
A lot of information to learn about and hear about, so stay right here for 843 TV, where communities come to speak.
.843 TV, where the Lowcountry comes to speak.
.843 TV,
where communities come to speak.
Welcome to 843 TV. We are always glad to be at Schiller and Hamilton Law Firm and talking with Bennett here. And today we've got a very important topic that really is very important to you. And we've been talking behind the scenes. And let's talk about Camp LeJeune. Something very important there happened.
Well, yeah. So obviously there's been a lot in the news, and you see on social media and TV ads. So at Camp LeJeune, there was contaminated water for a long period of time. It turns out that after years of fighting, there's a new law that is allowing individuals who suffered consequences or medical conditions resulting from the contaminated water to be able to bring a cause of action. So, back in 1981 and 82, the Marine Corps discovered that they had volatile organic chemicals in the water as a result of fuel tanks that were leaking, disposing of dry cleaning solutions and degreasing solutions into the water system. There was a 15-foot layer of gasoline on top of the aquifer and underneath Camp LeJeune. Benzene, tetrachloroethylene, trichloroethylene, and vinyl chloride were discovered in the water. It turns out these are very carcinogenic materials. Folks have gotten sick in ridiculous numbers, mostly cancers. And so over the years, the courts have denied access to justice due to statute of limitations, statute of repose, governmental immunity. So these problems have prevented individuals who have suffered these consequences from the contaminated water from seeking justice. Well, now our Congress has passed a law that allows them to seek justice. But the biggest problem that we saw over the last few years is a cover-up. So in 1953, from 1953 to 1988, if anyone lived, worked, or otherwise at Camp LeJeune, they were exposed to high levels of these volatile organic chemicals. And some of the problems that these individuals have faced are almost every cancer. You name a cancer, these chemicals have caused it. And the Centers for Disease Control and the ATSDR have established that the chemicals that are in the water, in fact, cause a host of other medical conditions as well. Neurological problems such as Parkinson's, tremors, causes all sorts of internal issues, mostly the cancers. So, we hope to be able to help our veterans get justice. And it's not just the veterans. And one of the things that's really alarming is, it's the spouses, it's the children, that attended school there at Camp LeJeune.
Sure.
They're drinking, back in the 80s, we just drank water right out of the garden hose.
We did.
And so
yes, we did.
When you're talking about a 15-foot layer of fuel on top of the drinking water under Camp LeJeune, it was 1.5 million gallons of fuel that had leaked out, which it's really disturbing. And, I've been practicing law for 30 years and I'm proud of what we do, and we've handled a lot of important cases, but this is one of the most catastrophic things we've ever seen.
To you mentioned it's probably the most important case that you've taken on to date. Why is that?
Well, because, justice doesn't just happen. Mm-hmm. And, in order to get justice, sometimes you have to fight for it. Mm-hmm. And our veterans have fought for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, here in Beaufort, one of the things that I find to be true is, our Marines loved Parris Island so much, they've all decided to come back and retire here. There's a large population that's very well connected to the Marine Corps here, and many of the veterans that I've met already you know, they love Beaufort and they've returned home, but they've been dealing with a lot of medical issues. And so because we're here in Beaufort with 2 Marine Corps bases, we thought that it was important to be able to give back to our community, to get involved. And when it was brought to my attention, I didn't know anything about it. And I literally called an emergency meeting with all of the attorneys, and we started researching it, and we've developed what I believe is going to be a system to be able to help answer questions and educate our community, because there's a lot of misinformation. The problem, the problem is social media. The sharks are circling, and it's just bad. And I don't want our neighbors and our friends and our veterans here in Beaufort to make a bad decision and end up, with some Chicago law firm trying to handle their case. We want to first of all answer questions and try to educate individuals that may have been affected, because it's a pretty serious situation, and more importantly, they've placed a time limit on it. So time is of the essence. This is not something that we can wait 3 or 4 years and then maybe I'll pursue it or maybe I won't pursue it. I don't know, but we feel that it's important because I benefit from what our Marines have done, and we want to be able to give that back. And so this is something that we find very important. And it's a big deal. I'll have Kevin come in and talk about the actual law and what it does and what it includes. But we're here to give back, and that's what we do.
And as we wrap up in this first segment, last 30 seconds, what is the first step that you're going to take with these folks? What's going to be
we
needed?
want to meet them. We want them to come in and we want to hear their story. We want to hear what they've been through, what medical conditions they have, and then obviously we'll evaluate their case on a case-by-case basis versus just lumping everybody into one big group. So, the first thing is we just want to talk with them and meet with them and see if we can answer their questions.
Yeah, so if they have a concern or question, come on in and just sit down
Absolutely.
with you.
And, that conversation's free.
Absolutely. Okay, we're going to come back with Kevin, and you all stay here. We're going to learn a lot more about this very important subject about Camp LeJeune.